Living in America. Are y'all okay, America? No, seriously, are you guys okay? Because as an American living outside of America, what I am seeing is very, very disturbing. Is it time for you to leave America? I live here in Portugal. This is my home. I've been here for the past 6 years. I left the US and I haven't looked back since. I go back to visit, to hang out, but I could certainly not call it home anymore. Portugal is definitely my home. And recently, when I look at America, I don't recognize it. There's been a shift. And recently, we've been getting a lot of messages from people in the US asking about an escape plan, an exit strategy. How is it they can get over here to Portugal and live this life? And if you're watching this video, you are considering making that move.
What's up, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing good from wherever you're watching me from. I'm obviously delighted to see you on this platform once again to share knowledge and information with you. So, in this video of today, I'm going to take you straight to the country of the United States of America. And I have a very critical question for you. And the question for us today is, why are people leaving America? Why is there a strong hate in and out of America that is continuously growing? Why is it that people are losing tolerance in America, American themselves, and people outside of America? So this is what I want us to discuss. And leading us into this discussion, I want us to watch this black brother who's telling us something concerning the same. And at the end of this video, we shall have something, a detailed analysis to discuss. So without wasting much of your time, let's jump right into this video. See you on the other side of the video.
Living in America. Are y'all okay, America? No, seriously, are you guys okay? Because as an American living outside of America, what I am seeing is very, very disturbing. Is it time for you to leave America? I live here in Portugal. This is my home. I've been here for the past 6 years. I left the US and I haven't looked back since. I go back to visit, to hang out, but I could certainly not call it home anymore. Portugal is definitely my home. And recently, when I look at America, I don't recognize it. There's been a shift. And recently, we've been getting a lot of messages from people in the US asking about an escape plan, an exit strategy. How is it they can get over here to Portugal and live this life? And if you're watching this video, you are considering making that move. You only need so many signs before you just have to make a choice. You can stay and fight, deal with it, or you can leave. And for a lot of you, you're waiting for the sign. You're waiting for something more to tell you that it's time to go. And so on today's video, I want to point some things out to you. These are the signs that you should leave. Let's talk about it. Oh, by the way, welcome to Portugal. So I think the first motivating factor for a lot of people is what's going on politically. You feel ignored, you feel attacked, and more than likely you are being ignored and you are being attacked. It's the reality. But if you're exhausted, this may be the sign. At what point do you say, enough is enough? It's like anyone that's in a relationship and they're trying to communicate with their partner and both people think they're 100% right. At a certain point, that couple separates with something called irreconcilable differences. Are you at that point? That's the first sign. The next thing is economics. The economic instability, the cost of living, just everything that you have been encountering right now feels like you can't keep up, like your dollar is not going as far. Your housing, your food, your transportation, everything is just getting more and more expensive. Even though the government is telling you that inflation is under control, it doesn't feel that way. And you are really scraping by financially. This to me, this cost of living situation in the US is just out of control. And I don't think you have to stand for that. We have lived in so many countries around the world where it's affordable. And even as an employee in that country, you have a living wage that is sustainable. People are not going into major debt just to cover everyday expenses. And so if you are in that situation in the US and you don't see how it's going to get any better financially, then this should be the next sign to encourage you to go somewhere else. The next thing for a lot of you guys is healthcare. Do you feel like your healthcare is subpar? Can you get a doctor's appointment? Can you afford to go to the hospital when you're sick? Are you truly getting the best healthcare the world has to offer? Because that is certainly what the American healthcare system and CEOs will tell you, that this is the best healthcare in the world. But yet it's unaffordable, it's inaccessible. Healthcare is the #1 reason for bankruptcy in the US. I have personally never met anyone in Portugal, in Japan, or in Spain, all places that we've lived, that has talked about how expensive healthcare is, that they are going bankrupt. That is unheard of in almost every other country except for the US. Really, healthcare feels like a financial trap. And so if your health is suffering and you cannot afford to take care of it, then that is definitely a sign that you should see what else the world has to offer. You can become a healthier, happier person by exploring this one sign alone. Think about it. The next thing we need to talk about is safety. How safe do you feel, and how safe are you really? Oh, you got some food for me? Yeah. Thank you, Sanoa. Yeah. Well, what is this? Sanoa made me some onigiri. Okay, back to my question for you. I'll hold that for later. But safety. You know, one of the things that is the most disturbing about what we see as Americans living outside of the US is just how unsafe it appears to be. And one of the things that has just been so amazing about living abroad, here in Portugal, when we lived in Spain, when we lived in Japan, was just the peace of mind that we could walk around with. That we could go to sleep in our homes and not have to worry about someone invading it in the middle of the night. That we could allow our daughters to roam the streets as little kids and not have to worry about something awful happening to them. Safety for me is such an important aspect of life, feeling that sense of security. And if you don't have that and you just can't rest your mind, then that may be a sign to go. Go. Let's go. And this brings me to the next sign, the looming threat of social unrest or chaos. Now, I get the sense that there is something bubbling up in the US that is inevitable. Some sort of chaos, most likely initiated by some conspiracy theory event. I mean, the FBI has warned of domestic terrorism threats, but political leaders remain divided on addressing them. And so, if the leadership is not willing to acknowledge that this is a serious problem, then how can it be solved? And why should it be up to you to leave yourself vulnerable to that situation? But let's talk about personal freedom and civil rights. The decline of personal freedom and civil rights should be something that concerns you. If you feel like you don't have a voice, that people aren't acknowledging your differences, then this is a very, very dangerous situation. It leaves an opportunity for you to be discriminated against, for you to be held back by institutions, for you to have less opportunities in so many ways. And so if you recognize this decline and you don't see that there is an opportunity to retrieve it, that these things are going in the wrong direction, then this is a question that a lot of us really have to come to grips with. And finally, does the US still feel like the land of opportunity? Is it still one of those places where dreams can come true? Is there optimism that if you do everything right, you will succeed? That's a question that I think is debatable right now. And so if you feel stuck, like you've done everything you can possibly do and you're still not moving forward, then what do you have to lose by leaving? So that's it. I think you have heard it all. You have all the information you need, and it's really up to you to take action. And so I hope this video has given you guys food for thought on your journey. And I'll say that as an American living abroad, I care a lot about America and I care a lot about all of the people that are there. And I'm sending my love because right now, you guys need it.
All right, welcome back after listening to that brother. I really believe he has a lot for us to learn from what's going on here. And see, the question he's really now giving us is how much science and how high must the red flags fly for you to see that it's time for you to leave America? I mean, it's getting me to ask the question, is the new American dream to leave America? This is really sad, to be honest. I must say this because growing up, we always knew about the American dream and we longed for the American dream, especially people born outside of the United States of America. From any other place in the world, there was always the dream to once, go to the land of the free, the land of opportunities, to live that American dream. But what is happening to the American dream, really? Uh, is it there anymore? Can we say that literally the American dream is now to leave America? See, in recently I did a video of white people complaining of how life in America has become totally unbearable. And I deliberately was showing that part because most people might be thinking that, well, it's life for white people in America might be okay and better than other races. But the truth is, in as much as we think the whites are having it smooth in America, but they are also eventually or gradually getting fed up, and the situation is becoming unbearable for everybody. I mean, without saying, Latinos have been complaining left, right, and center. Let's not even talk about the blacks, because now for years, blacks have been repatriating themselves back to the motherland of Africa. Of course, we can argue that most of other black people are trying to move back in a way to, in an argument that we say they're trying to reconnect back to the motherland, to their roots, to follow up with their roots. But other than that, beyond and above that, there are more other reasons forcing people out of America, out of the American dream, other than just black people going back to the motherland to follow up on their roots, to reconnect with their ancestors, the land of their ancestors. Because then, why are Latinos complaining? Why are white people also complaining? So this black brother living in Portugal, obviously, as he has said, has outlined for us a few points that really have necessitated people to just, say enough is enough. It's time to quit. And is it the time for you to really think about what else the world can offer you outside of America, outside of that American bubble? There are a few points I want us to knock off that he has tried to articulate. One of the point being political attention, or actually, to put it right, political tension. And the US is deeply polarized. We know that, everybody knows that, with growing divisions between conservatives, liberals, political extremism. and fears of actually civil unrest. And many feel that the system is failing and are losing trust in leadership, that you can bear me witness. And then he also talks about the economic situation or economic instability. And in one of that video, and I will link this video, this is the video, I will link it to this video. You can check out how white people are complaining how the economic situation in America is becoming totally unsustainable. So the cost of living is skyrocketing. Of course, it's happening in the world over, but let's focus on America. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation, and job security is being seriously uncertain. Many struggle with debt, and we know the American system is one that is really anchored on the debt system. Housing affordability and financial stability are just becoming a challenge for most people. So, after talking about the political situation, the economic situation, he also outlines for us the third point being the healthcare system. And I have never really come across a people in this world complain so hard and so painfully, maybe so passionately, about the health system like Americans. What is up with the system, the healthcare system in America? Even in third world countries, people don't complain about healthcare system like I hear people complain about healthcare system in America. It gets me to question how bad is the situation with the healthcare system in America. So the healthcare system is expensive and profit driven, leaving millions without proper access to affordable medical care. Even those with insurance often face very high, unaffordable charges. So then again, another point is social safety. So let's talk about social safety. So rising crime rates in some areas, homelessness, and weakening public institutions make many feel a bit unsafe. The lack of strong social welfare programs add to this whole pot of social safety and the doubts that American people are having when it comes to their safety. And then he's also talking about social chaos or the social unrest or looming crisis. Uh, so protests and racial tensions, mass shootings, and fears of future conflicts create an atmosphere of uncertainty. Many believe the country is heading towards a major crisis. You know, a boiling pot will just boil for as long as it can before it starts to boil over. I mean, to get out of control. I think, and the brother is actually articulating that maybe it is time for American people to think about alternative options if at all the option of making things right is now becoming impossible. One thing with one major problem with the government of the United States of America of the day and even those of before, they love to involve themselves, to indulge in affairs that do not concern them, especially politically and economically, and they love to manufacture instability in other regions, and they love to fabricate propaganda, and propaganda is information about other places. They are always manufacturing chaos and wars in other different places. And you know what this is doing in the long run? People are realizing that this is a pattern, this is a trend. And then people from outside are beginning to become not so friendly with America. I mean, there is a growing disinterest and hate and kind of condemnation towards America for always, being all over people's affairs. And, this is just all leading up to, pointing towards one thing, a growing intolerance for America, from outside and even inside of America. Now, Black people have literally almost have never been given a chance in this country, and leading to social unrest and social chaos is the fact that even Black people feel that they deserve to be in this country. Why? Black people have built America. America is what it is because of Black people. So they obviously and honestly deserve a fair share in America. But above and beyond that, also Black people rightfully and are very right to think that those that are trying to dismiss them out of this land, force them out, make them feel like they don't belong, disenfranchise them, that have come up with a system, an unjust system, do not actually even belong to the land rightfully. So you want to chase me out of this place because you're calling me a foreigner. I came from Africa, but you also were in those ships coming from Europe. So you equally are also a foreigner to this land. So if we are to live as Black people to Africa, then you as white people need to also repatriate, go back to Europe in the places you really came from. Now, putting the issues of Black people aside, white people are also finding it unbearable, totally unbearable, politically, economically, health-wise, and all of the points we have outlined from that video of that brother. And if you really think that they are not complaining, then listen in.
I'm sorry, but the American dream never fucking existed. Like, what? Your dream is to work until you are 65 and decrepit and not be able to make ends meet the entire time? Like, I'm sorry, but that just does not sound remotely appealing to me. It's not even about the dream anymore. Like, people are literally just trying to afford living in America. And here's the thing. If you are working for America, you will never be able to live your dream life in America. Like, and I know that most of you are probably already scrolled by now because you don't think it's possible to live in America without working for America. I was a server at the beginning of 2023. I quit my serving job. I started affiliate and digital marketing in April of 2023 and have now made almost $300,000 working online, and none of that came from my serving job. So if you are genuinely interested in working for yourself, starting an online business, check out the roadmap. It's at the top of my page. It literally shows you everything that you need to know to make money online, to start digital marketing. But I promise your dreams are so much more achievable than you think they are, but you're probably not going to reach very many of them by living that American dream life.
People are always saying that the average American makes $45,000 a year. Where does the average American work? I want to make $45,000 a year. Are you kidding me? The most I have ever made is $30,000 in a year. Where are these people working that they're making $45,000? Like, don't just tell me that they're making $45,000 a year. Where do they work? Is their job hiring? I need more details. Like, where are they getting these numbers from? I don't think I know anybody in my life who is making $45,000 a year. Like, that is insane. I think that's like the average, only because like there's literal billionaires who are making like so much in a year that like regular people, they're like, oh, the average is 45,000. The average person, I would say, probably makes like 30,000, like 35,000. Like, you're not making $45,000 an hour on like a $15 an hour fast food salary. Like, where are the people who are making $45,000 a year? Where are they working? Are they hiring? Tell me that, America!
What's the end goal here? Because the U.S. government cannot possibly believe that this is sustainable.
Don't forget, it's also now illegal to be homeless in a country where it's very hard to have a home, hard to pay our rent, hard to buy a house, hard to pay your mortgage. But don't worry, if you can't do that, it's illegal. It's also now apparently illegal to feed the homeless. So don't worry about helping anybody. That's not what America's all about. Oh, and the retirement age has been raised. So don't worry You will work until you die. I think it's fascinating that the government is not at all representing what America was originally formed to be.
I'm an American who lives in England, and I get asked a lot, why did you leave Florida? Why would you want to move to this country of all places? And if you don't know what's happened in Tennessee this week, there was a mass shooting at a school. And despite all the other reasons why we moved, now being pregnant and bringing a child into the world, I would never have children in the United States, ever. And we were fortunate enough that my husband's from this country that we were able to move here, and I'm so glad we did, because I cannot imagine sending my kid to school knowing they might never come back because people love guns more than they love children. I can't imagine having my kid do active shooter drills. It's fucked up, and I'm glad I'm here and not there, even though this country's not perfect either. It's better.
If you are not struggling financially right now, then you need to consider yourself completely blessed. Like, don't even consider yourself. You are completely blessed. Like, every time I check my local mom group on Facebook, I see requests or people asking where they can get some financial assistance to pay utilities or assistance with rent. And it's concerning because these people are working full-time jobs and they just can't make things work right now. For example, this morning, a woman posted she's an RN working 2 jobs and still is struggling. I know we're all complaining about how expensive things are. For me, personally, like, my car insurance doubled in August. I was paying around $140 a month, and now I'm paying $280 for 2 vehicles, and I'm 1 driver. And I have never had a claim. There was no reason for the increase other than they just increased me. On top of that, Florida Power and Light rules the entire state of Florida now. They bought out Gulf Power, and since then, all I ever hear about from people is how astronomical their utility bills are. Everyone is trying to find ways to save money. But as soon as we save money in one area, something else goes up. So it's just kind of like we're sliding this scale back and forth, and it's actually like increasing. We're never saving, no matter how hard we try. Like, I stopped eating out with my kids. Obviously, eating out is super expensive, but I went almost a month no eating out, and it was still a struggle. And if you made it this far, I don't mean this to be like a pity party thing. I'm figuring it out. But last Friday, my birthday, my boss cut my hours in half. So yeah, I guess this is also like a PSA to people who aren't struggling right now. Don't be tone deaf, because you never know what's going on behind the scenes. If you start to notice behavior changes and lifestyle changes, I can promise you it's because people are being proactive or, I don't know, maybe reactive to their financial situation. It's just a mess.
How are people surviving financially nowadays? Because me and my husband make decent money. We only have 1 child. We have regular cars. We're still paying them off, so we have car payments. We live in a decent area, nothing fancy. And I feel like we're constantly struggling. And there's people that make less money than me and us, actually, and they're living wild lives. Like, are people just racking up all this debt? Or am I just doing something really, really, really wrong? Because I feel like I'm always trying to pay something off, or I'm always on a budget. And then student loans are due next month and nobody's talking about it. Like, how?
Hi. So I retired about a year and a half ago. I'm 56 and a half, and I retired at 55 with not quite enough money to live off of. But, you know, how much would you pay to not have to work? I've got a good routine going. I'm doing the yoga and the walking, and I'm working on my novels, and it's been awesome. It's been great. I love it. But the truth is, I can't really afford to live this way. And so every once in a while, I think about, I should get a part-time job, or get out of the house and do other stuff. And the truth is, I feel like I'm still recovering from my work life, and I don't really want to do anything else. And I understand that I'm paying for that by being poor, but you know what? It's worth it.
I just took out a loan for basic needs and food. Like, needs/food. I have never in my life had to take out a loan for the things that my home needs. I had to make the decision of gas or food, or somehow budget it and split that and get a little bit of gas and get a little bit of food until I get paid again. I said, there's no way. I cannot do this. I need to have a little bit more for gas, and I need to have enough food. So Affirm has, its thing with Sam's Club. I was like, fuck it. Let's just take out a loan for our basic needs. I feel like this is not okay. This is not okay. We're fucked.
Okay, so after listening to that, and after judging from the situation, blacks finding it unbearable, the Latinos finding it unbearable, and now the whites finding it also unbearable, I think it is now safe to conclude that the American dream is to leave America if you're living there already. This is honestly sad. Is nothing really happy about this, but it is everyone's responsibility at some point, to take an initiative, to figure out what's going to happen with their lives. So I know other people might agree with this, and maybe others are still reserved or do not agree. It is okay, but it is good that you are aware what's happening, and just so nothing finds you on the wrong foot or unawares. Um, I'd love to really see what you think about this, and especially if you're an American or you're in America watching this, what you think about this. If you agree or do not disagree, please leave me your opinion in the comments in this video, and please share for me this video. And if you have not subscribed to this channel just yet, I ask you to hit the subscribe button to be part of this community. Check out of all of our other videos for very interesting, intriguing content like this and much more. So until next time, I will be happy to see you in the next video. Peace out.